Today we have this 1953 Royal HHP vintage desktop typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. First, we're going to adjust the paper guide to make sure you can move it from side to side. We're going to line it right up with the edge of the platen here, so it's right on the edge. Platen is your main roller that feeds the paper, and this is your paper bale that sits on top. The margins are magic margins, which are on top on each corner. And right now it's set all the way at the beginning of the platen. And if you wanted it more close to the middle, then you just set where you want it and you flip this magic margin forward. And it sets the margin right there, magically sets it. Same with the end. Right now the margin's right there, but if you want it right there on the end, which is where I want it, you're gonna flip the switch on the right side forward, and it'll send the margin magically to that spot, and that's where you'll stop on the end. If you want to send it more to the edge, so the margin will stop you, you have to hold the carriage release and the magic margin at the same time, and it'll allow you to move that margin all the way to the end. We're going to set it at the end of the page right there, so we got margins at the beginning and the end, so we're going to hold the carriage release and the magic margin at the same time all the way to the end. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning. It skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on 3, but if you want double, you just flip that switch to the middle position and it skips 2. Flip it all the way back and it just skips 1. We're going to keep it on single and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence on the next line. Very nice typing machine. It's very sturdy and strong and feels smooth when you type. Print looks really good too. This is one of my favorite models. I love the desktop models because they're just so big and sturdy. You can just hit them as hard as you want, and when you hit the carriage release, it won't slide or anything. So, and they're very strong and heavy, so like when you set them down, you can't really move it. You just want to keep it in one spot. But the reason why it's so heavy and strong is because it's made out of some of the best quality parts you can find. Back when everything was good was made in the USA, it was made in the USA. Great engineering by Royal, one of the top typewriters of all time. To pull the page out easy, you just flip this switch on the right side here forward, and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy, or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it will not load correctly. Got a shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, you just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the top left, that works good. Tab function on the right side here. So right now we might have one tab set, so you hit the tab button and it will stop at that spot. So we're going to do that again and clear that tab by hitting this button on the left side here. And now we should have no tab set, and it goes all the way to the end of the margin. We're going to reset a tab right in the middle, and it works good. You can set as many tabs as you want on this model, all the way to the end of the platen. Margin release, when you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that will lock the keys so you can't type past it. And if you need to finish a longer word at the end, you just hit that margin release and it will allow you to type past that margin all the way to the end of the platen. Open the hood with this button here. It's got a little latch that when you hit that button, it opens. Some people might try to rip that open and they might break that latch. It's pretty strong and it doesn't seem to break easy, so you don't have to worry about breaking that, but that's just an easier way to open it. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling to the right. Counterclockwise, you want to switch that direction, you just flip that switch to the left and it'll pull clockwise to the left. That works good. Touch controls on the right side here. Right now it's on the lowest it can get, and if you want it higher, you push it to the left side. The highest number is 6, and that just creates tension when you hit the keys. You got to hit them a little harder, but they respond faster. So for more advanced typers, they would use that high touch control. This has a cool function. So as far as age goes for typewriters, this is a newer age. A lot of them were made in the 20s and 30s. So this is a 1950s model. So it has this function. If you push in this button here and lower that latch, you can take out the platen and clean it, clean out the inside, or replace those rollers. And all you got to do is line this up like that, push it in, and it sits right back in there. And then this, you hit that button and it's closed right back in. Very convenient to have that function. And this is adjustable however you want to adjust that when you're loading the page or taking it out. And it has a latch on this side that if you push towards the front, it disables the spacing mechanism, so you can get to an exact spot on the page, flip it back, and each one of those clicks is a space. You can also use that same function by pushing in this knob, and it will disable the spacing mechanism so you can get to an exact spot. And that's about it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.